Joining me right now is the Chairman and CEO of First Data Corporation, Frank Bisignano. Frank, great to see you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Great to see you. Honored to be here.
Your company is the leader in electronic payments, so I want to talk to you about that. And I know you've got a lot of growth prospects going on right now. But first, you were at the meeting with the president yesterday. Can you characterize how that meeting went?
I would consider the meeting tremendously upbeat. As a business leader, I look at what the president's doing and think about very pragmatic. We talk about that Gary Cohn brought out the chart to show the president, which the president had already seen, around the process map to get a road built. And it reminds me so much of things we've done our whole career, is looking at how to make things better, improve the process. And I really think it's a pragmatic approach. I think everybody left there very energized.
Yeah, but I mean, we're all energized about the idea of seeing tax reform for the first time since, what, 1986, the first change to the tax code. And yet we haven't really seen evidence that they're working on it. Are they? I mean, what's your take on whether or not we are going to see tax reform this year?
Well, my take from yesterday was there was a series of meetings. You had Secretary Ross, you had Gary Cohn, you had the first daughter, Ivanka, who talked about workforce development. And I think what you find going on now, and think about it in a way someone would run a company, is an integrated plan. So I think you're not going to see silo-based decisions. You're going to see integrated decisions. And they're having a deep dialogue to ensure that making one decision doesn't cause collateral damage to another.
Would that be a game changer, though, tax reform? I mean, you as a business leader, obviously taxes has been one of the issues why companies put money overseas, why there's all of these different loopholes. Tell me what you think about the idea that tax reform is coming.
I think always the devil's in the details, I like to say, and everybody likes to say that. But you can see this administration is designing jobs, the opportunity for the economy to grow, right, and the ability for business to be friendlier to consumers, too.
Well, the rollback in regulation has to be huge.
I think it is. I think it is. And you know, like any organization, things build up over time. And I see a very pragmatic view at looking at it, going all the way down to bedrock and making change.
The president also talks about infrastructure spending. Can you have a role in that at First Data? Tell me about the infrastructure plan that you're expecting. The administration has committed to directing as much as $1 trillion on various infrastructure projects over the next decade. How do CEOs at the meeting respond to that?
I think, first of all, I'm very enthused about the definition of infrastructure, because historically we looked at infrastructure as roads and bridges and tunnels, and it's a much more expansive and today view of it, which includes technology, includes cyber, has you thinking about the whole of it. And I think it thinks about the IT within government. And so for that, many companies stand ready to be prepared to participate in how to help automate and change that infrastructure.
Right, which is why I asked you. I mean, you know, First Data enables electronic payments around the world 2,000 times a second for more than 6 million merchant locations. And I know you've recently created a new program for small and mid-cap businesses, the Clover Station, designed for small and businesses to track inventory, et cetera. Tell me how First Data could actually enable an infrastructure plan.
Well, I think there's a whole series of things we think about. First and foremost, small business sentiment's at an all-time high right now, and I think that banks are motivated to help small businesses grow, as we are. And I find that to be a very friendly environment. When you think about payments in general, and you think about all the things that go on within government infrastructure, I'm hopeful that we have opportunities to help lower the cost of government and bring more electronic opportunity to consumers and to the government entities.
We got the jobs numbers out later this week. You say small business optimism at these great highs. What are they seeing? What are you hearing? This is your main, big customer group out there, small and mid-cap businesses. What are they expecting? What's most important that they want to see out of the Trump administration?
Well, they're expecting forms of tax reform. You know, we talk about tax reform, and people always think about large corporations, but the ability for spending to increase, a more robust economy definitely drives them. We see them investing in technology themselves and working hard on building their business, and they're more optimistic about their ability to do commerce with consumers in a different way. So they're investing today in building their businesses.
Does it feel to you like things are getting better, economically speaking? I
think it does. I think it does. I mean, we're in the very early innings. But when you look at all the movement that's occurring, you see a very, very pragmatic approach to helping build.
Yeah, and in terms of business, you're seeing it as well. It's we're looking at the impact of these legislations, whether it's tax reform or rollback and reg. Do you think we'll see the impact in 17 or 18? Is this a year out?
I think, you know, I think Ivanka, the first daughter, said something. I mean, she was fabulous yesterday, and she said something. She said her view and the president's view was he's going to do a lot of things that'll help the next generations and the jobs, too. So this is about long-term sustainability, not short-term gain.
Frank, it's great to see you.
Always great to see you.
Thanks so much for joining us. Frank Bisignano, Chairman and CEO, First Data Corporation.